Module 7, Developing Social Awareness, Reading the Room. Developing self-awareness is essential for enhancing emotional intelligence. Equally critical is building your social awareness. This is where you take what you've learned about processing information and apply it to create collaborative and rewarding relationships. There are simple techniques you can adopt and skills you can practice that will significantly improve your social awareness. The sensory audit technique. The first place to start is with your senses, particularly using your senses to learn more about the world and people around you. What do you see, hear, and feel? This probably sounds obvious, but you'd be surprised how little attention we pay to our senses, especially in pressurized situations or when we're busy or stressed. Practical exercise. Challenge yourself to complete a sensory audit. Take a walk either in your workplace or outside. For 20 minutes, focus intensely on what you can see, hear, feel, and even smell. If your mind wanders, gently bring your thoughts back to your senses. You're gathering information, learning to pay attention to environmental details, which significantly helps with social awareness. Reading people through senses. You can use your senses to process information about others. When interacting with another person, consider what their facial expressions and body language are communicating. Listen carefully to the tone people use when they speak. Once you become proficient at this, you can start piecing information together to understand what people are thinking and the dynamics between different individuals. Much of this technique involves simply taking notice. Often the information is right in front of us, but we're juggling so many demands, priorities, emotions, thoughts, and feelings that it requires practice to step outside ourselves and immerse ourselves in our surroundings. Industry-specific social awareness examples at a trading company. Notice when clients seem hesitant during negotiations. Their body language might indicate uncertainty even when their words suggest agreement. In a flour mill environment, observe how team members interact during shift changes. Tension between departments might be visible in their posture and tone before it becomes a verbal conflict. During university board meetings, watch for signs of disengagement or disagreement among committee members. Subtle cues often predict how votes will unfold. Start with using your senses to gather information. Then use that data to inform your judgment about the best ways to interact with others. Module 8, Beyond Empathy, Understanding Perspectives. The ability to empathize with others has frequently been described as a key predictor of emotional intelligence. But what if you're someone who finds empathizing difficult? As we learn more about neurodiversity, research shows that some people find empathy challenging. Others naturally possess empathetic abilities, but find the process so energy-consuming that they avoid it to prevent emotional overwhelm or burnout. So let's replace our focus on empathy in the workplace with a focus on understanding perspectives. There's a subtle but important difference. Perspective understanding versus empathy. When understanding perspectives, you can acknowledge and respect others' views without feeling their emotions in your own body. This might involve taking time to reflect on what you know about people you're interacting with and imagining how they might experience situations you find yourselves in. You're not looking for the right answer about what the other person is thinking or feeling. Rather, you're asking questions to learn more and imagining possibilities of how someone might think or feel. Important warning, don't assume you know exactly what a situation is like for someone else. This can actually be counterproductive and alienate people if your assumptions are incorrect. Practical perspective-taking techniques before meetings. Take time to remind yourself that you want to learn more about the other person's perspective. Set this intention before getting together. You can mentally process what you already know about the person based on previous interactions. During interactions, actively explore the other person's perspective rather than avoiding it or just trying to make your point. Ask questions like, "Tell me more about where you're coming from. I really want to understand your perspective on this. What am I missing?" Benefits of perspective taking. There are two significant benefits to this approach, especially in challenging situations. First, you're much more likely to understand the other person's values, objectives, and agenda. which makes negotiations simpler and solutions easier and quicker to find. Second, you'll build stronger relationships because the other person feels truly heard and understood, even if you don't agree with their position. And doesn't everyone want to be heard, acknowledged, and understood? Your challenge, over the next 2 weeks. Practice perspective reflection in your daily interactions. Module 9. The Art of Active Listening. Communications missing half. When we think about communicating effectively, we often focus on making our point and ensuring others understand what we're trying to communicate. But this is only half the story. Communication involves both providing information to others and gathering information from others. The key to effective communication is listening. Yes, you'll have viewpoints, messages, and points to convey, but if you want to build effective and strong relationships, you also need to truly listen to messages from other people. This includes their words, tone, and body language. The listening trap. It's easy to fall into the trap of focusing solely on your point, particularly when stakes are high or you're in a pressurized environment. But this represents a significant missed opportunity. If you listen and interpret the other person's message effectively, you're more likely to find strong middle ground where you can both work collaboratively and respectfully. You're also more likely to discover solutions when facing challenges, and you might discover new ways of looking at situations you hadn't considered. At some point, we all experience our emotions hijacking our thoughts, making us intent on speaking and getting what we think is our truth across to others. But will that help you build effective relationships? Probably not. Developing better listening skills. If you feel intent on communicating your point or notice your emotions rising, remember to step back, pause if possible, and take the opportunity to really listen and understand other viewpoints. Self-assessment questions. Do you listen intently to others and truly hear what they're saying? Are there times you listen more effectively than others? If so, when and why? What can you do to become a better listener? Practical listening improvement strategies. Before meetings, note what you would like to learn. This could be someone's perspective or thoughts on a particular subject, or answers to specific questions you have. Challenge yourself, learn at least one new thing during every interaction. After meetings, take a brief moment to note what you learned, either from people's words or by understanding dynamics and body language in the room. If your intention is to learn something and you know you'll be reflecting afterward, you'll be much more likely to listen for information. We often notice what we're primed to notice. Remember, communication should involve information flowing ideally equally between parties. It all starts with mastering active listening before considering how to convey your message to others.